Great work, because I know you've been working hard, so good job. Well done. All right, so how much money are you going to earn this year?
About $400,000.
Okay, so $400,000. Nice job.
That's GCI. He didn't ask me how much I'm actually gonna keep of that, but that's GCI.
Yeah. Well, we can get into that, but we won't have time. But the reality is that these people are really excited you're over here that you're earning $400,000. These people are like, ho hum.
Right?
You guys excited she's earning $400,000? Just check it. You gotta have the whole crowd to get it with you or against you.
I just need to look at them.
That's right. All right, so let's just get real, we're gonna just take 5-10 minutes. So what would you say is the single most important things you've done to shape the way that you do business? Because look, I've watched this filter out in your life in regards to your most important relationships, obviously to your health and your vitality. What would you say, what counsel or advice would you give to someone saying, hey, I am looking to break through in my business? Because when I met you, I think you were maybe barely or just below earning 100 grand?
Yeah, around 80 probably.
Okay, so you're doing 4 times the amount of business over the last several years. So what's changed? What have you done different?
Probably a couple things. So invest in myself. Investing in myself is a big thing. And then surrendering. So one thing that I keep thinking about as we're doing everything that we're doing here today is you, Luke, Tony Robbins, all these people are doing the chanting, the cheering, the breath work, and so many people, including myself, have been resistant to that for so long. But the reality is, it's look at what George has built. He's not just telling us this because he's the only one that can breathe this way and do these things and make it work for him. It's because he knows that if all of us do it, it's going to work for us too. And so years ago, because of Morning Ascents, it was around the time I started managing and I started going to Morning Ascents and journaling every single day, I realized oh, this stuff doesn't work for you unless you start to do it. You're going to start to do all these things not understanding how it's going to incorporate into your life, how it's going to change your life, how it's going to impact you. You're not going to realize it until you actually start doing it. And in the beginning, it's going to feel really awkward. It's going to feel really uncomfortable. But you have to practice the principles of success before you become successful. You can't become successful and start practicing the principles of success. So you have to, when we're talking about faith, we're talking about, look, you have these people who have built these incredible things. 20 years ago, George was sitting here like you and me. He wasn't running Everest. He hadn't built anything noteworthy yet, other than he was running a successful real estate business. And so there's really no difference between anyone in this room and George or John or anyone who's built anything other than they believed in the principles of success and practiced them before they became successful. My next goal is to make $1 million a year. I can tell you before, probably the last month even, I didn't think that was possible for me. I never thought it would be possible for me to be a size 6. I've never been a size 6 in my life, not even in picture. Just so you all know, I've worked my ass off at the gym every single day. I changed my nutrition completely, but I also had twins 12 years ago, and in March, I got a tummy tuck because I had to do something massive to achieve the results that I wanted to achieve. And sometimes we think, I had worked out for years. You've seen me yo-yo diet for years, not having success. I would lose weight, I would gain it back, I would lose it. There's some other stuff that goes with that, like getting in alignment in every element of my life, including the massive one, the relationship that's had an impact. But until you really get internal and you're honest with yourself about what is in here, which, guys, I was 41 years old when I figured it out, so it's not like I am an expert on it. I'm 42. It's all been in the last year that I've started to figure some pretty massive stuff out. But what I have figured out is that if you keep trying to change something and it's not working and it's not working and you're doing everything, what is the massive roadblock? What's the big obstacle? What's the hardest possible thing to do that you can't even imagine doing because it's going to be so painful, it's so expensive, it's going to hurt so much, the recovery is going to be brutal. For those of you that don't know, I'm a pretty open book. I'm in the middle of a divorce. I just separated from my husband this weekend. He moved out. So there have been massive, massive, massive life changes going on for me this year, but it's because I finally just got sick of it. And in January, I was like, enough is enough. I'm so sick of being dishonest with people about who I am and what my truth is in here. I've known it for years. We've talked about it for years. I think I've been with Everest 8 years, and he's known for 8 years about some of this stuff that I've been struggling with. But I didn't have the courage, I didn't think I had the strength to do it, but I started practicing the principles of success. I started implementing these things in my life before, when I felt like it was awkward and I didn't want to do it, and I was like, oh, I'm just not into the rah-rah. I just don't, it feels so weird and so awkward. And then finally I was like, you know what? I'm gonna surrender. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna dive in. I mean, we have how many days until the end of the year? What if you guys just said, from now until December 31st, I don't care how uncomfortable it is, I don't care how hokey I thought it was, I don't care how much I don't want to do it, I'm going to listen to the most successful people that I know that have done this, and I'm going to implement these things into my life just through December 31st. And even if I'm scared that I can't do it, or I don't think I'm worthy of it, or I don't believe that I can do it, I'm just going to do it and see what happens. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Some people may call this a midlife crisis.
Oh, it absolutely is a midlife
And as I
crisis.
said, a midlife crisis, right, is nothing more and nothing less than the restructuring of your life, either responsibly or irresponsibly. And the thing is that some people get so weirded out when people change the course of their life because they figure out what they ultimately want in their life. Guys, you are one decision in your life away from living the life that you ultimately want it to be. And I'm not here, and she's not here, none of us are here to say, well, this is what your life is supposed to look like. But I'm just here to tell you that you are destined to live the life that you desire it to look like. And if you'll take that and you'll listen to this, it's just a journey. And each one of us will individually have our journey. And then people will be like, how'd you figure it out? It happened so fast. And yet she just told you it was an 8-year journey for her, resisting, fighting, struggling, and wondering, like, wait a second, what is it going to look like in any and every area of your life? From health to relationships, and of course her business. So, I couldn't be more proud of you. So any last thoughts?
Yes, I will tell you that if I could simplify it into the most simple terms, for 41 years, I was the Erin Mehler that everyone else wanted me to be. Now, I am the Erin Mehler that I want to be.